everyone. I don't have the good fortune of sitting there being very calm and having my life all well put together. I am a parent who's been adversely affected through family law and from participating psychologists. Dr. Sherry was one of the major ones. Her report was utilized throughout my litigation. Let me be clear about this. I have 50% custody of my child again. I was able to get that outside of the courtroom and without the interference of an attorney. If it weren't for some of the things that I did, such as filing complaints, I would not be in my son's life right now. Also, let me be clear. I am the one picking up the pieces of what's happened to my son and me. My ex-husband and I are co-parenting. He was my abuser. Although there wasn't very much physical abuse, there were some times that there were physical altercations. It was predominantly emotional, psychological, and economical. I have PTSD. It's very hard to rebuild your life when you have trauma like this. My son has a lot of repressed anger, and it's my ex-husband and my duties to raise our son the best way we can. Unfortunately, with PTSD, that means that I'm not able, it affects a higher cognitive function, so I was not able to prepare a statement. I'm also very busy trying to rebuild my life career-wise. I would like to address some of the propaganda or the myths. I really wish I had more time. Some things that Mr. Flynn, I believe that's what his name is, said, that, let's face it, when the parents reach that point when they can't reach agreements outside the court, that something must be wrong with them. What about the parent who has the financial means to drive the litigation? I think the reason why you're seeing a rise in complaints is that's probably one of the few recourses parents have. Attorneys right now are further polarizing the two parties. They are exploiting them and they are extorting them. I was bankrupted and financially exhausted. I believe it was Mr. Spinks who said at one of the board meetings that once you're out of money, you're dead. Imagine what it's like for a parent who so desperately understands the complex family dynamics that these psychologists don't have the time or privilege to understand. And the attorneys, well, they have an invested interest. They have a special interest in mind. Let me just, I know I have to wrap it up. I will be writing to you all. Just please keep in mind that there are paradigm issues in this. There are limitations to every paradigm. There are special interests involved. There's implicit and explicit bias. I think a lot of times when people go into psychology, it's because a lot of them had childhood trauma that they're trying to work out. One last thing is in these dynamics, when you're giving one parent the power and control, you're participating in family violence. You're giving one parent power and control over the other parent and the children, and that can have devastating, lifelong ramifications.
Thank you.